Let's continue talking NBA
looked
basketball. Over to the New York Knicks. Kristaps Porzingis showcased his unique skill set in the Knicks win in Milwaukee with the block over Giannis Antetokounmpo. Take a look at Kristaps' help defense.
Okay.
So long. But not only did KP get it done on the defensive end, also got it done on the offensive end as well. Tim, we didn't stop this play. Look at where he pulls up from, Tim.
Yeah, he shot that one from Oshkosh.
Oh, my goodness. Do you think Porzingis could be a prototype of what the center position might evolve into in the NBA?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's a fair question. I actually love the question. But now you got to start looking at how do you build around him.
Okay.
He's an okay rebounder, not a great rebounder. So your 4 has to be a guy who's an excellent rebounder, but also someone who could step out, like an Al Horford. Like, he needs to play with someone who's going to bring some physicality to the 4, but not just post his ass up on the block.
Okay.
Because now you kind of stifle in Porzingis, who likes to roam, who likes to play on the block, who likes to shoot threes. Like, yes, he's really hard to guard. This is what I envisioned Arvydas Sabonis. Like, when Sabonis was in Russia, they said that he was the best player in the world.
Okay.
When we saw him later in his career, when he was old and his head was
He's
like,
a lot bigger, a
like
lot
Barry
heavier.
Bonds' head. He had like the biggest head ever. But this is what I envisioned Sabonis was like, in the 80s and 90s, as far as stepping out and being really hard to guard. But I think if you're going to have a 5 that's that athletic, then I think you have to have a 4 that's a very good rebounder.
Okay. I just wonder if there are other guys like a Kristaps Porzingis with that skill set. For the position to evolve into that, you have to find other 7'3" guys with that sort of skill set. Embiid and maybe a Karl Anthony Towns have that skill set.
I think that's fair.
But other than those 3, I don't think you can just
Anthony
find
Davis.
Okay, yeah, I would agree with that. And I don't
Cousins. Step out.
Yeah, but Cousins is slower and not as athletic as a guy like Porzingis.
He wants to shoot threes. He wants to hang on the perimeter.
He does.
We're watching this center position really evolve. So the game's changing right now. I think it's a guard-dominated league.
Yeah.
And the big guys, keep drifting further and further away. So I just wonder, everything goes in cycles. Will it ever come back to where, like Pat Ewing, Hakeem, David Robinson, like those guys never shot threes.
Yeah, they got their butt down in the post, that sort of thing. We have moved into like a positionless NBA, whereas you see a guy like James Harden running a point guard, Giannis Antetokounmpo as a point guard, and now we're talking about a 7'3" guy stepping out. Like, all the positions are kind of like gone. Like, you know what I mean? The athletes, it used to be, a 6'1" guy, Isaiah running the point, but now everything is blurred, which I'm cool with, but the game has just changed so much.
Yeah, the game has changed. That's because guys' skill sets have become so much higher. Like, guys can do so many more things with the basketball that a guy like Pat Ewing, they would expose him in the pick and roll. I mean, every single time down the floor, James Harden's going to get Pat Ewing out on the perimeter, and the switch is going to be Pat Ewing's going to be on James Harden. So it's become more athletic. It's become faster, and not as much emphasis on lifting weights. Like the Karl Malones of the world. You don't see guys with muscles like
Diesel guys.
the Bismack Biombos. Like, those, there are only a few guys that are just like completely jacked. That they're getting away from that.
Anthony Masons of the world. Don't really see those guys too much.
Charles Oakleys. I mean,
Indeed. The game has changed. I like it, though. Raining threes. It is an exciting game for sure. Kristaps Porzingis in